warm welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 Global with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Let's begin with a bird's eye view on what's happening in Pakistan. We'll be bringing you views from legal experts as well as politicians from the PTI and renowned journalists from Pakistan as well. But before that, let me tell you what's happening in the country. After several days of a political spectacle for Pakistan's opposition leader Imran Khan, there seems to be some relief in place for the PTI chief today. The legal relief came in the form of a 2-week-long bail by Islamabad High Court on Friday in the Al-Qadir Trust case. Earlier this week, the Pakistan Supreme Court deemed Khan's arrest as unlawful. The Islamabad High Court also instructed authorities to not arrest the former Prime Minister till 17th of May in any case filed against him after the 9th of May. Now, the decision comes after Khan's lawyers approached the court to grant the leader protective bail in several cases. Meanwhile, Imran Khan called out his dramatic arrest on Tuesday and said that he was abducted, as if instead of a government, martial law is in place in Pakistan. It should be noted that Imran Khan has refused to step out of judicial custody. Khan's PTI, on the other hand, has vowed to continue peaceful protests in the country. The Pak Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said that the PTI leadership has brought the country to the brink of destruction. Here's a report.
Pakistan's government deployed the army on Wednesday to stop violent protests that have broken out across the country and left a number of people dead since the arrest of former leader Imran Khan. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Wednesday warned protesters the government's response to the unrest would be, quote, iron-handed. At least 5 people are dead in violent clashes between protesters and police, dealing a blow to Pakistan's stability while it suffers a severe economic crisis and faces a delay to an International Monetary Fund bailout that's lasted since November. Khan's supporters stormed government buildings following the former prime minister's arrest in a land fraud case on Tuesday. Other state buildings and assets have also been attacked and set on fire by protesters, escalating tensions between Khan and the army. As protests rage on, the former international cricket star turned politician is now under the custody of Pakistan's anti-graft body for 8 days for further questioning, according to a government advisor. If convicted, Khan will be disqualified from standing for office, possibly for life. Pakistan is due for elections later this year.
कुरैतुलैन शराजी इंडिपेंडेंस से कहा यह जा रहा है कि आपको सुप्रीम कोर्ट से अनलाइक अदर पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स आपको रिलीफ दिया गया सो आप इस पर क्या कहेंगे?
इसमें रिलीफ? मैं हाई कोर्ट पे बैठा हूँ, मेरे पास कोई उनके पास एक जवाब नहीं था मुझे पकड़ने का। मुझे एबडक्ट किया गया है और जाके वहां फिर पहली दफा मुझे वारंट दिखाई जाता है जब मुझे जेल में ले जाते हैं। ये तो जंगल के कानून में होता है और फौज अबडक्ट कर लेती है। यानी किधर गई पुलिस, किधर गया कानून? यहाँ तो एक जंगल का कानून है, बल्कि ऐसे लग रहा है जिस तरह के यहाँ तो एक मार्शल लॉ डिक्लेयर हो गया। और आपको सोचे 40 लोग, मुझे तो मैं जब कल अदालत में पहुंचा मुझे पहली दफा पता चला कि 40 लोग बेचारे इसमें जान खो बैठे। मुझे तो यही भी नहीं पता।
कोई साजिश नहीं हुई। उसके बाद IMF के साथ जो हमारी गुफ्तगू चल रही थी, आपको याद है उस ज़माने में PTI लेड हुकूमत KP में और पंजाब में उनके जो वज़ीर ख़जाना थे उनको इमरान नियाज़ी की हदायत पहुँचवाई गई शौकत तरीन के ज़रिए। ये बात रिकॉर्ड का हिस्सा है अब कि आप इनकार कर दें। उसका क्या मकसद था कि IMF की डील ख़त्म हो जाए और पाकिस्तान खुदा न खास्ता डिफ़ॉल्ट कर जाए। इसी तरीके से इमरान नियाज़ी ने एक से ज़्यादा मरतबा ये कहा कि पाकिस्तान के हालात श्रीलंका जैसे होने जा रहे हैं। यानी वो दिल में बद्दुआएं कर रहा था कि पाकिस्तान खुदा ना करे वो एक्चुअली डिफ़ॉल्ट कर जाए और हम शदीद माली बहरान में हम मुब्तला हो जाए।
So it's very apparent that the fight between Imran Khan, the establishment, and which, of course, as we all know, is the Pakistan Army, and the Shehbaz Sharif-led government is becoming about who blinks first. But as far as the PTI is concerned, they don't seem to be backing down anytime soon. Here's what the PTI feels. Let's try and get in a sense of perspective. And for that, I'm joined in by PTI leader Abdul Yaqub, who's joining us live from Pakistan. Many thanks to you, Abdul, for joining in. Now, Mr. Khan has time till 17th of May. What is the legal recourse for Mr. Khan now to avoid a rearrest?
Well, so far, Mr. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan has got the bail on all the cases, even the non-cases and those cases which might have been filed against him, but which is unknown to him or he's unaware of, or his lawyers are unaware of those cases, because some cases are being kept hidden and to be used against him when they want to arrest him again. But now the relief is which we got from the remedy which we got from the higher courts is that he got the protective bail. He can go to Lahore. He can stay at his residence till Monday. He has to appear on the coming Monday. He has to appear in the High Court of Lahore to get another bail, which cases are being registered in Lahore. Because so far, the jurisdiction of Islamabad High Court is that any case registered within the premises of Islamabad, the High Court can only give the bail to those cases. And furthermore, as I have already mentioned, that Islamabad High Court has already given him the protective bail, which means that that he can travel to Lahore, and he would not be arrested with any of the law enforcement agency.
Right. Mr. Yaqub, today we heard the Pak Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif lash out at Mr. Khan and the judiciary as well. He drew comparisons with the execution of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and even the assassination of Benazir Bhutto, saying that back then such violence was also unheard of. Is the PTI under the leadership of Imran Khan standing on shaky grounds?
Well, fact of the matter is, what is the fear when Imran Khan was arrested, when Imran Khan was accusing the serving Major General and the serving Brigadier? I mean, what we fear is that that he could have been poisoned in the custody of these enforcement agencies. So this is what we fear actually. These were the genuine reserves. His life is on stake. I mean, life was on risk because he has been the assassination attempt has been made on his life. So these are the genuine reserves. And by the way, it is unfair to compare the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's time, that why did people didn't come out to protest. Simply, if the people at that time, like 50 years ago, 40 years ago, if they would have come on the streets, this wouldn't happen again. I mean, so this is the first time unprecedented move by the people of the Pakistan, that they have came out in a huge number, and this is the first time that I would say that the system is defeated, but the will of the people, they stand victorious. These are the decisive moments when Pakistan is changing. I mean, when the civilian supremacy is witnessing by the people of the Pakistan.
Right. Mr. Yaqub, Imran Khan's popularity among the masses has been viewed as his singular strength. His party leadership has not been allowed to come even to become a secondary authority in this party. Is this proving to be not just Imran Khan's weakness, but also a weakness for the PTI?
Well, fact of the matter is there is no match of Imran Khan even within the party. I mean, although the Shah Mahmood Qureshi is the vice chairman, the most senior politician, but he was arrested. Then the General Secretary Asad Umar was arrested. Then the major crackdown was carried out. Is still underway. The major crackdown. Majority of the leadership has been arrested, or they are running away. They are hiding somewhere because they have the fear of being arrested. So the fact of the matter is, in this sensitive moments, I mean, people were out to protest in the favor of Imran Khan. So you are right somehow that yes, there is no other person within the party who can become equal to Khan or who can lead the party in a similar manner in the presence of Khan.
Right. Also, Mr. Yaqub, sources believe that a plan is in place to put an end to Imran Khan's political uproar and your party's existence. In March, there were reports that the Interior Ministry was considering on declaring PTI as a proscribed outfit. How is your party preparing to handle such a scenario?
See, what I believe is that they would not go to make any further misadventure. I mean, they have done it in 2 days, 3 days ago, and they have faced the consequences. It's not in their capability or capacity to ban the PTI. I mean, you one cannot ban the most popular party of the Pakistan. I mean, they all, even if they got together. They are the allies, but still PTI is managing, opposing them single-handedly. So PTI is single-handedly, PTI is against the whole system. It's not PTI versus ruling parties. It is a PTI versus the whole system. PTI versus the military establishment, the PTI versus the bureaucracy, the whole system we are now fighting against.
When you're talking about the PTI, challenging the entire system in Pakistan, Imran Khan's close aides are currently in jail and will remain in jail for at least 14 days, if not more, making Mr. Khan the lone wolf of this party. What will this mean for PTI as a political team? That too at a time when the election results matter.
Well, no doubt that he's the only person, the most famous, most popular leader of the Pakistan. But again, there should be some strategy. I mean, at the moment we are fighting a battle. I mean, when the whole second tier leadership has been arrested. But the fact of the matter is that we should come up with the better strategy that if again Khan would be arrested, who is going to lead the party, and if he is arrested, who is going to lead the party? This
Right.
need to be strategized in the future, I believe.
I'm sure the next few days are going to be very pivotal for the future of not just Imran Khan, but your party as well. Many thanks to you, Abdul Samad Yaqub, for joining in. It was a pleasure to speak to you. And with that, let's quickly get in a legal perspective, because I'm also joined in by Waqas Abbasi, who's a legal expert, is joining us live from Pakistan again. He's a barrister, Waqas Abbasi. Thank you for joining in. Let me first begin by asking you, everybody is wondering, is there a legal recourse and what is it ahead for Imran Khan?
Before 17th of May, I think he must make all kind of protection, and he must take all kind of precautionary measures to save himself from further arrest and detention, or the apprehension of arrest and detention. How can he save? He can ask the court that I want to appoint my legal representative in the different cases, that they can legally represent me in the different court and the different forms on which he has apprehension of arrest. So I don't think so that it's a feasible possible on the part of any human being that he can appear before 121 cases in the different courts throughout the Pakistan in 5 to 6 days. So he will ask the court, and he will file a petition to ask the court either to club his cases under the same umbrella before the same court, or he will ask the court to appoint, to let me allow to appoint my legal representative to pursue my cases in the different courts in Pakistan. So these are the two options which can be carried out by Mr. Imran Khan. Otherwise, after 17th of May, when the time will be passed out, then ultimately he can be arrested and he can be detained. Even right now, there is a apprehension, and the jeopardy will move out of the jurisdiction of Islamabad Federal Territory.
And are you saying, Abrez, that does that mean that Imran Khan can be arrested in Islamabad itself after the 14th of May if he does not get any further reprieve?
Yes, he can be arrested in Islamabad, but on 17th of May, when he will produce himself before the court of law, then court will adjudicate his case on next stage. That like Likewise, the court can extend his bail. Like the court may say that I'm going to extend your bail till the 27, till the 26th, or till the 25 of May. So court have option. This is a discretionary power of court to extend his bail. Either court has to extend his bail, or court can ask his legal representative to argue on the merits of the bail, whether two people deserve to have the confirmation of the bail. So far Al Qadr case trust is concerned, do you have the evidence to prove that? Prosecution would be proved that prosecution has to prove, because this is a settled principle of law, that prosecution has to prove his case beyond the shadow of doubts, dents, and suspects. Any slight doubt on the prosecution story will fail to achieve the fruits of the case. So I think though that the prosecution from the NAB side has to prove his case. Otherwise, if there would be a dent and the doubt, so in the settled principle of the law, ultimately Imran Khan would get the fruits of that those doubts and the dents.
All right. Many thanks to you for joining in, Mr. Khan. And with that, let's quickly go across to Emer Shaheen, who's a renowned journalist, joining me live from Pakistan. Emer, thank you for joining in. Let's begin by talking about how, even though this has been a temporary reprieve for Imran Khan, the legal woes for Khan are far from over. How do you see the challenges ahead for Imran Khan and the PTI?
Indeed, the legal woes are far from over with hundreds of cases, but I think that's not the most difficult situation in Pakistan right now. The most difficult situation in Pakistan right now is that this is a proxy war fought by politicians from both sides. Sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
So it's a proxy war fought between PMLN, People's Party, and all the other political parties on one side, and Imran Khan on the other side. And the proxy war is kind of between two segments of the establishment of Pakistan. On one side, we have the previous generals who Imran Khan, like he said, helped him get into power and run his government, and the judiciary, the senior judiciary, that supports Imran Khan and gives him that leeway that he desperately needs every time. And on the other side is the current military establishment, which is seen to be supporting the current regime, the joint government of all the other political parties, including People's Party and PMLN. So the fight is between these two. And the legal fight is going to continue. I don't think that the legal fight will end before the general election. It's going to continue. Imran Khan is going to get his mileage out of it. The government itself is trying to save their face. Today's press conference of the Prime Minister of Pakistan with his cabinet is unprecedented in a way that he was criticizing, as a sitting responsible Prime Minister of the country, he was criticizing the top judge and some of his other Supreme Court judges. And as we had been predicting, what's going to happen now is that the alliance of PDM, which is PMLN, People's Party, and other political parties, are going to show their force on the street. Why? Because apparently those people who were burning, the whole place up, government offices, private buildings, people's residences, those people kind of served the purpose for Imran Khan. And as Imran Khan was coming out of the court, he said, if you arrest me again, this violence will happen again. So the problem is that violence that claimed so many lives in Pakistan, it was a one-sided violence. The military, the police, the security forces, took a back foot, even when the house of Corps Commander, who was a very powerful military person in Lahore, his house was ransacked. They even stole his food and burnt the whole place down. Even then, there was no resistance shown to PTI. And yet, there was shelling and everything, but the kind of resistance that could have been shown by the security forces was not shown against PTI. That situation changes very rapidly once the government, the Pakistani government, the People's Party, and the PMLN decide to go to the streets and protest against the very judges who are seen to be giving a lot of leeway to Imran Khan. So once the pro-military and anti-judicial establishment protests happen, and the anti-military pro-judicial establishment protests happen at the same place, the same time, PTI has a lot of following. It seems to be a lot more because they're very violent, they're very loud, but the other political parties, even smaller political parties, can gather huge crowds, and some of the smaller political parties like the JUIF has a lot of armed followers as well. So once those followers, those protesters in favor of military and in favor of judiciary, once they are face to face against each other, the situation is going to get worse. The government will try to save their face. They're going to reattempt another arrest of Imran Khan, perhaps very soon. Right now in Islamabad, there's a fight going on between the Lahore, the Punjab police, and the federal, the Islamabad police. Then the fight is who is going, not like you have to arrest Imran Khan. The fight is we want to arrest Imran Khan because the instructions are clear.
That's a very, very sharp and a very clear observation that you've made in terms of how this has now snowballed into a larger civil war kind of a situation. Having said that, many are also asking, why has the army taken so much time to react? That we all know the kind of cases that are pending against Imran Khan, from blasphemy to treason. Is there also a possibility of Imran Khan now getting disqualified? Many are saying that the kind of looting and vandalism that's taken place at the Corps Commander's residence is also now going to build up a fresh new case against Imran Khan. Are we now staring at a situation, or is rather Imran Khan staring at a situation where disqualification is now becoming a reality?
I don't think the disqualification is on the cards right now, because the disqualification will be quashed by the Supreme Court. And anything, the Supreme Court, the kind of support that Supreme Court judges, some of them, including the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, have been giving to Imran Khan, there's also a rift within the Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court, there are senior judges off the bench who the Chief Justice removes from the bench because he's not getting the kind of majority that he needs to keep supporting Imran Khan. And this kind of maneuvering of the benches last time, not last time, but like in a famous case was when Zulfikar Ali Bhutto had to be hanged, the elected prime minister, and
something
those
that
benches
even
were being
Sharif
changed.
Quoted to, because he not just quoted Zulfikar Ali's example, but he also quoted Benazir's example. In fact, he said that such kind of violence was not even witnessed even back then.
Yes, and the real issue is that the violence worked. And once people see that the violence is working, then they're more prone to violence. And the PTI itself, the leaders are arrested, many of them, and hundreds of cases have been registered against Imran Khan. But this is just a turn of events, and history repeating itself, right? Because when Imran Khan was in power, Imran Khan was even more blatant against his opponents. He was even doing it against journalists. He would have so many cases registered against them. It would be impossible for a journalist to go to and hear all those cases. And the kind of woes that Imran Khan is facing right now.
In fact, I'm running short of time, Emer. We'll have to leave it at that. But what you said was also, in fact, something that was reiterated extensively at that Federal Cabinet meet by the Prime Minister today, Shehbaz Sharif. Thank you so much, Emer, for sharing in your precious inputs. And with that, let me also quickly bring in Maher Shah, a renowned columnist, joining us live from Pakistan at the moment. Thank you so much, Maher, for joining in. Now, as I've been asking everybody, how do you foresee the challenges ahead for Imran Khan? I believe that the battle has just begun.
As I said to you earlier today, there is no relief for Imran Khan. What they have been doing to him in the last 1 year, you see, it all happened step by step. Initially, they thought when they ousted him, they were actually working on the belief that Imran Khan was planted by the establishment, and Imran Khan supporters are establishment supporters, and as soon as he's out of power, he will lose public support. But the opposite happened. This was one thing that PDM, the 14-party coalition, and the establishment had not taken into consideration. They did not realize that people, there had been this collective grief, collective rage for years. Even if people did not come out on streets to protest what happened to their prime ministers, Benazir Bhutto twice, Nawaz Sharif thrice, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in 1977, he was hanged in 1979. People have been seeing this, that prime ministers are not allowed to complete their governmental terms in Pakistan. That is a fact. And despite the fact that a lot of people said, okay, inke saath acha hua, these are all corrupt politicians and they deserve to go. Now, when it happened to Imran, despite his flaws, I keep saying this, that he's a flawed human being, he's a flawed politician, but most of Pakistan believe, the people do believe that he's not financially corrupt.
All right. Meher, how do you weigh in on what Shehbaz Sharif had to say when he spoke about the unprecedented violence that was not even witnessed earlier, as you rightly mentioned, at the time when Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was executed or even his daughter Benazir Bhutto was assassinated? He spoke about how the Army's corps commander's residence has been looted as well. Will this make a case for Imran Khan's possible disqualification?
Oh, absolutely. Well, why do you think it was allowed to happen? There's this analyst, writer, a very famous writer, Aisha Siddiqa. She was on Barkha Dutt's show a couple of days ago. And her opening comments, so she's written books on army's involvement, interventions in civilian matters. And her first words were that the corps commander's house was empty. It had been vacated a few days ago. And I don't know about India, but in Pakistan, military cantonments and houses of high-level military officials are very heavily guarded. One, people have a great deal of respect for Pakistan's armed forces. And two, they're also very scared of what the establishment could do to people who do not toe their line. So for normal, regular Pakistanis to go, yes, the most noticeable thing that day was all the protests took place outside military officials' houses and the GHQ. They were not outside the Prime Minister house or the Chief Minister house or the Governor house or any minister's house. They were all outside corps commanders' houses and GHQ in Rawalpindi. Let me tell you this categorically, that it is physically, literally, virtually impossible for normal, regular people to go even close to these houses. They are very heavily guarded. You cannot even park your car near one of these houses.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, these houses are empty. All these men, young men, are going in and breaking things. And we started saying it that day that what is happening was so unheard of. Total, absolutely condemnable what was happening. But it was not PTI supporters. PTI supporters could okay, even if there were PTI supporters with whoever it was, because there's a great deal of skepticism in even anti-Imran Khan people about regarding the way all these things happened that day. And also, it's not a mob. Yes, there are young men. There are young men who are doing crazy things. They react in different ways to people who are older and more restrained and more experienced in life. There are women, there are children, there are teenagers, there are elderly people.
Mayor, everybody is now wondering about the future of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Imran Khan's close aides are currently in jail and will remain in jail for at least another 14 days. What will this mean for PTI as a political team at a time that's very critical for the upcoming election?
You see, if Imran Khan was in jail and all of them were outside, then it would have been really problematic. Now the top leadership, other than Imran Khan, let's just call not second tier, but the top most people in the party are all in jail, and thousands of workers and supporters are also in jail. But he's outside, and people of Pakistan and people who support him, unfortunately or unfortunately, look at PTI as Imran Khan. It's, like once upon a time, Congress was Indira Gandhi, and now when people talk about BJP, it's Narendra Modi. There's this one face. So it's very unfortunate that people who have never done anything, who have not committed any crime, somebody like Shiri Mazari, a woman in, I think she's in her 70s. She could not even walk properly when she was arrested last night at 4 a.m. All of them are being arrested. They have not done anything. They've not committed any crime, but they're just, they're just making sure that PTI becomes leaderless. But as long as Imran Khan is there, and honestly, even if he's in jail, right now he's in a position to win an election.
Right. All right, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it at that. Many thanks to you, Maher, for joining in on CNN News 18 Global.